What is going on, everybody? I am the FD Guru, bringing to you guys a Thursday NBA edition of my DFS podcast. We have 7 games on the main slate tonight, 2 after-hour games on that slate, but they're a part of the main slate as well. Usually, FanDuel and DraftKings have been leaving the later games off of the main slate, but with only 5 games in that early wave, they decided to put the night games on, which I don't hate it because there's not a lot of injury news we got to wait on. Now we have LeBron and AD questionable, in that late game, but we can assume that they both play. LeBron missed last game, doesn't seem like a serious injury, so maybe just a game off. We haven't seen him miss back-to-back games in a while, so we can assume both of those guys play. Nothing to wait on in the Kings and Warriors game. That looks like a great game to pick from. It's got a huge 243, 44 over-under. That game and the Indiana game, actually the Washington game has a 245 as well. That looks like a really good DFS game. Utah, 7-point favorites in Washington. Both teams not great. Utah is the better team on the road, though, so that should stay pretty close. As usual, I'm going to give you guys 5 plays on FanDuel, 1 for each position. Just like this video and subscribe. Put on my alerts so you don't miss anything in the future. Last night we did pretty well. The hybrid team scored the least, but it still cashed in cash games. These are the GBP on the left and the cash on the right. They both cashed in tournaments. Had LaMelo Ball in all my lineups, and he just didn't play well. It happens. He was in a great spot. And they ended up losing to the Pistons. He shot atrociously from the field. Was like 1 for 7 from 3. Had to play him, though, with that usage. Bradley Beal did well on the GBP. Had Bogdanovich in 100% of lineups on the Pistons. He played really well. 34 real points, 43 fantasy. That definitely helped us out. Şengün had on the cash and hybrid, 55 going into overtime. He was always a great play if you found the money. So overall, a pretty good night last night. Let's keep it going here tonight. Into our first play, I like Steph Curry. Like I was saying earlier, this Warriors and Kings game, a great game to pick from. It's a pretty tight spread, should be high scoring. Curry looks like he's starting to find his groove a little bit. The Warriors in general, they've been playing a little bit better as of late. 40 plus fantasy points. I'm going to count last night as 40, close enough, but 40 plus fantasy points in his last 3 games, 48 and 46.8 in those second and third last games. And 8,800, this is a cheaper price on him. We've seen him over 9K, up towards 10K before. We all know what he's capable of. 88's good. He needs 43 fantasy points to hit value. He's projected for like 42.5. His prize picks line fantasy right now, I put it in my Discord, is 39.5. One of my favorite squares on prize picks today. I think that's going to get bumped up before the game starts. 39.5 on prize picks seems a little too low. I like him to get 43 tonight. Obviously, he has a 50-point ceiling. He dropped to 60 against the Magic on January 2nd. So he looks really good in all formats tonight. He has the ceiling. He has the high floor. We can expect him to get, on a bad game, 35 plus fantasy points. So I like Steph Curry. I like this Warriors and Kings game a whole lot. It's my second favorite game behind the Jazz and Wizards tonight on this slate. So Steph Curry looks good. I like him at 8,800. Shooting guard. Just like yesterday, we're going to go to Nickeil Alexander-Walker. Will be starting if Connolly's out again. Again, that's if Connolly is out. He's questionable again with an illness. The fact that they haven't been able to rule him in yet today makes me feel like he is again on, the bad side of 50-50 for the Timberwolves tonight. Obviously, he's out. If he's out, we're going to see Alexander Walker start like we've seen the last 2 games. The fact that Connolly has missed 2 games for an illness and he's still questionable today, he's dealing with something a little bit more serious than a 24-hour, bug. I don't expect him to play today, but we'll have to see what happens. It's a 7:30 Eastern game tonight, so I'm hoping we get that news before lock. The The good thing in terms of news for illnesses is, a lot of injuries guys need to go through pregame warm-ups, to kind of warm up whatever is hurting, whether it's a wrist, an ankle, etc. With an illness, you kind of know before pregame warm-ups if you're still feeling like shit. We usually get illness, designations. We usually get the news on that an hour before the game, if not more. So I don't think we're going to, run into a problem before lock with knowing if Connolly is playing. And while we're on the subject, the other injury guys, we got Hartenstein, who has missed the last game, but that doesn't affect anything, whether he's in or out, because Achua and Jericho Sims are now priced correctly. We have, who else do we have? We don't have much on this injury report today. Tobias Harris, that's the big one today. He missed shoot around, so he's on, a higher chance to miss. Whenever guys miss shoot around, they're usually not going to play. So we might have to run into Kelly Oubre value, which is never fun. I don't know who else can play because Morris for the Sixers is doubtful as well today. So who knows what they're going to end up doing. Maybe like Furkan Korkmaz. Batum might see some more usage in that starting lineup. But at the end of the day, Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey already use so much of this 76ers usage. I don't think it's going to be like groundbreaking value stuff if Tobias Harris is ruled out. Celtics are fully healthy. No injury news in that Washington and Utah game. The Nuggets and Knicks are fairly healthy outside of Isaiah Hartenstein. So overall, other than the LeBron and AD in the late game, there's not much. Things can always change, though, as we go into lock, but we're kind of struggling for cheap value. It seems to be the way things have been going lately. We've had a lot of slates consecutively where there just hasn't been a lot of cheap value. Alexander Walker will look good again at 4,900 if Mike Conley is unable to suit up tonight. Small forward, I like Denny Advia. Like I said, not a lot of sub 5K value. 6,300 for Advia. He's projected 31 fantasy points tonight. It's a great matchup against Utah. He's coming off of a great game just a night ago. Was that last night? Yeah, it was. So just a night ago, he played 37 minutes, 24, 6, and 6. Looked really good. He's really been the second best scorer behind Kuzma, as Jordan Poole is just having an atrocious year. Tyus Jones has been really good for them too. I like Advia at 6,300. He needs 31 fantasy points to hit value. He's projected for that. Again, great matchup against the Jazz. It should be back and forth. Both defenses aren't great. So he looks like a pretty good middle tier guy tonight. We don't have a ton of value, as I've said. So I like getting to Denny. He's multi-positional eligibility, small forward, and power forward. Before I get into my last two plays, I'm still doing my sleeper promo. More of you have been signing up, which is great. Use my code FDGuru. $10 or more, double first deposit. I will give you $10. So if you want to just use 10, double it to 20, I will pay you the $10. So you can get $20 into your sleeper account for free. Message me, and we'll set you up. I have no problem giving you that $10 to get you onto sleeper for an absolute free cost. Power forward, I like Lauri Markkanen. Now, he screwed us 2 days ago in the after-hours slate, did terrible, but the Jazz in general just didn't play well against the Pelicans. They got blown out. We're going to throw that last game away, as it was just such a fluke. Before that, he had been playing really well. He's averaging 40 fantasy points on the year. He's projected for 44 tonight. He needs 42 to hit value. We all know how bad the Wizards' defense is. Markkanen, a key piece of this offense. Him and Colin Sexton have been running things over there in Utah. I like him to have a big game tonight. He projects really well. One of the best, not only spend-up values on the slate, but overall values on this slate. Multi-positional eligibility, power forward, and small forward. I like getting up to Markkanen. He's definitely a good spend-up. I'm not going to be able to get up over 9K tonight. I know we have guys like Jokic and Joel Embiid, but unless we have some groundbreaking news that opens up cheap guys, we're just going to have to hover around this middle tier to higher tier, 6K to 9K range, because when you put Embiid in your lineup, it's going to get ugly from there as of right now. So I'm going to stick around guys like Steph Curry, Lauri Markkanen, as the spend ups, 8 to 9K. They look like the best values tonight. I like Markkanen 8,400, and then sticking in that, same territory. I don't know why Siakam is a center now on FanDuel. They changed his positions. I think he was only a power forward before. He's even less of a center on the Pacers. They have Miles Turner. The fact that he wasn't really a center on FanDuel on the Raptors, he was more of a center on the Raptors than the Pacers, but we'll take it. It's huge. That multi-positional eligibility center looks like a terrible spot tonight. Unless you can spend up on Embiid, there's not a lot of good value plays. I like Siakam a lot. This is the next best game. I had mentioned the Warriors and Kings game being a good one, and the Utah and Wizards game being a good one. This is the next best game. We got the Sixers 5.5 point favorites on the road, looking like without Tobias Harris, so that's going to hurt them a little bit. Indiana will be fine. They'll be able to stay in this game at home. Siakam with no Tyrese Halliburton looks great. He should be 8,200, 8,500, 7,700. He needs 38, 37, 38 fantasy points to hit value. That's what he's projected for. That's what he's averaging on the year. I like him a lot. This game should stay close. He is yet to really break out as a pacer. Pretty moderate, 34, 27, 33. Nothing great. I do project him to have his best game as a pacer here tonight. He's only played 3 games, so this is his 4th game as a pacer, and I think it's going to be a good one for him. This Sixers and Pacers game should be back and forth, and again, there's not a lot of good value at center here tonight, so we'll take Siakam with that multi-positional eligibility. That'll do it for this video, guys. Thanks for stopping by. Like it, subscribe, put my alerts on, and let's get after this main slate and the after-hour slate tonight. Looking forward to getting on a little bit of a run. Until next time, I am the FT Guru. Peace.